Hey guys, thanks for joining me. David from Two Joes. So this vlog, sorry it's been a little bit since we've had a vlog. We've been really busy over here, so we've been working hard on Poopy Birds, trying to get the best product out that we can. So in this vlog, we're going to talk a little bit about something that I've struggled with personally, being a young developer, being a new developer, is analytics. So stick around for that. All right, so when we first started out, when we released our first game, Survivor Rush, one of the things that I would check constantly once it first came out was the analytics on it. I would check, every aspect that I could and try to get a little bit of better idea of what users were doing with it, how users were interacting with it, and ultimately if I was making money off of it, right? So the first day, we kind of got lucky and we made, I think it was like $10 on that very first day that it came out. So obviously, my excitement shot through the roof on that one. Thinking, wow, if I could just get it in the hands of, so many more people, we just, I'd be set for life. Fortunately, that's not the way it worked out. And what I found, the trend that I found was, that I would get really excited when we'd have an upcoming release. We'd put it out there and we'd have a good day one, day two, as far as user downloads. And then everything would kind of level out and plateau out. And then we would start looking at 1 to 2 downloads a day, and some of the games we were looking at 1 or 2 downloads a week. And it'd start eating away at me and start bugging me. And so I kind of pulled away from the analytics a little bit. I was kind of diving a little too deep, and there were points that I was refreshing data, 3, 4, 5 times an hour, sometimes 3, 4, 5 times a minute, trying to get the most accurate data. But with our newest game, Poopy Birds, which if you haven't downloaded it, go check it out. It's on the Google Play and it's on the App Store. So Poopy Birds, you're a bird flying down a city street. Your goal is to poop on as much stuff as you can, right? You want to try and hit all the cars and hit the people that are crossing the street. So with this game, we actually started focusing more on, instead of looking at downloads and looking at revenue, we're focusing most of our attention on user retention, right, and time played. Now, time played, since it is just a casual game that's designed for you to pick it up, play it for a couple of minutes and put it down, which we're averaging about 2 to 3 minutes per user. So we're comfortable with that right now, with where it's at. But what we're really focused on right now is user retention, right? Are people coming back day 2, day 1, day 2, day 3, and playing it again? And for that, really, we want to focus on making the best experience that we can. Now, in my opinion, it's a very entertaining game, right? We try to go as ridiculous as we could with it, right? Everything from fart noises to splatter noises when the poop hits the ground or hits a person. The people, when you poop on the people, they yell at you. You hit the windshield of a car and the car crashes. Try to go as ridiculous and over the top with it as we could, just to make it as entertaining as we can. But what we found, though, in testing, and admittedly we were a little rushed on releasing it because we were having a good time with it and it was entertaining, and I want to bring some entertainment to people. But we kind of rushed the release because what we found early on was that there wasn't enough interaction, right? It kind of got boring. After the initial shock of everything wore off and you're laughing and giggling at the fart noises and pooping on the people and seeing them yell at the bird as the bird flies past, it kind of gets a little bit boring, it gets a little bit repetitive. So what we did, and we were looking at, to give you a basic idea, for day 1 retention, we were looking at numbers in the single digit, right? We're talking like between 5 and 10%. So obviously those aren't ideal. Ideally you want to have 100%, but don't live in an ideal world. So we went back to the drawing board and we kind of looked at it and we kind of like, hey, how can we revamp it? Well, one of the biggest comments that we got back from initial testers and early players was that they wanted to have a little bit more interaction, right? We needed to be able to interact with the cars a little bit more other than just crapping on the windshields and making the car crash. So we spent a couple of weeks trying a couple of different things, and then we ended up coming up with the system that we have now. So the basic controls of the game are you use your thumb or whatever finger, you just slide it left or right and the bird moves left or right. tap, and you know, you'll drop a little present onto the unsuspecting people below. And originally, you just stayed up there at altitude. You didn't really have to worry about the cars. The only thing that you had to worry about were the occasional road signs that popped up on the street, and you just duck and dodge and swipe in between them. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring a little bit more excitement in. So now we added the ability in the newest version to be able to swipe down or swipe up to climb back up, and you would actually come down and fly just a couple of feet off the street level. This brought a whole new aspect into the game and gave the ability of actually running into the cars, which gave us the advent of adding new aspects into it, to where now you can actually run into the people instead of just crapping on them. You can actually run into them and knock them over or get them to yell at you. You know, just kind of imagine the old Hitchcock film, The Birds. You know, a bird comes down and messes with your hair and you're swiping at it, that kind of thing. And additionally, add a little bit more fun into it, where you get hit by a car, you get another little new splatter noise, and then a big puff of feathers comes out. And that actually initially made it's been out for about a week now, a little over a week now, and it's jumped our retention, our day one retention, up from what was about averaging about 7 or 8% up to the last numbers that I looked at, we were sitting around between 20 and 25% now for day one retention. And our day 7 retention has jumped up as well. Now, day 7 retention looks into a little bit more long-term things. You know, can we, when we're still looking to improve it, right? So we're looking to add in a few more things that you can develop along the way to keep that retention going a little bit farther. So for new developers out there, don't make the same mistakes that we make, and don't get wrapped up in those initial analytics, and make sure that you have enough data as well. That's another big thing that I found, is that I was looking, you know, for instantaneous data. We live in a world where, you know, you can hit something on Amazon and it's at your door next day or 2 days later for free if you do Amazon Prime and you're a little cheap like I am. I'll wait that 2 days. So we live in a world of instant gratitude, and with the amount of data that's out there, you know, you think that, oh, well, as soon as this data comes back in, I'm gonna have instant feedback. Well, you need to have a good sample size of that. So keep that in mind. So now when I look at user retention and I look at some of the numbers, I pretty much completely boil out monetization right now, at least for the time being right now, right? I wanna look at building, when I'm doing an early build, I wanna look at building the best game that I can. If I build a game that players are going to come back to day 1, day 2, you know, day 7, 30 days later, and they're still going to come back and play it, the monetization will come. So that I pretty much stopped looking at. I mean, I still look at it because, you know, kind of want to know how much money I'm making. But at the same time, it's not my primary focus. It's kind of a back thing. It's imagine, you know, looking at your paycheck at the end of the pay period. Yep, okay, it looks good, and moving on. So I want to focus mostly on user retention and making sure that I'm making a game that's fun and entertaining, not just for 1 day or one session, but for, you know, 4, 5, 7 days, 30 days down the road. So make sure you're looking at the right numbers. Don't try and digest everything all at once, and pick just a couple of things to focus on. For us, it's retention. For you guys, it might be monetization. You might be looking to just make a quick buck and trying to make, you know, 100, 200 bucks here and not really worry about people coming back. So we're looking long term. So that's what we focus on. We want to make the best games possible. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Check our games out. If you play one of our games, make sure you leave us a review. We do our best to get back to you within a day. And have a good one.